Very well, welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We are here for the round 5 of the GT3 Championship here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. This is on... Oh, hold on. This is obviously on PlayStation 4. This is going to be an exciting race. We're here for the second tier at the moment for the Tier 2s. We've got Tier 1s coming up shortly after this. Just coming to the end of the qualifying session here for the Tier 2s. And currently a man sat on provisional pole position at the moment is this man here, Gonna Gamble, sat in that number 10 McLaren. He's got 0.3 of a second at the top of that leaderboard over the man in second place, who is W. These two look like they're in a class to their own at the top of that leaderboard, like they were in qualifying last week at Spa, but the race went very much in the favour of Gonna Gamble. So let's see if it continues on in that vein here as we get going for this race. Due to go off in a minute's time. We're just waiting for Gonna Gamble to finish his final flying lap. Let's see if he can rub salt in the wounds and shatter W's morale here. He does, look at that. He does a 1 minute 56.5 there from Gonna Gamble. That is astonishingly quick there. He's 0.8 clear of W, and that has probably just struck a bit of fear into W now, as W is still 1.2 seconds clear of Eduardo in third. But look at that time from Gonna Gamble, absolutely brilliant stuff. So that is that then for the qualifying session. Eduardo and Major Pump lining up on the second row as it stands. We've got Mr. North London and LT Bongo behind them in 5th and 6th. Cosmic Mike and Dylan McGiven followed by On the Lolo and Spider-Man in 9th and 10th. Sampa J, Nightblade and Funny Guy completing the classification here for the Tier 2 race. But looking like it's going to be an exciting night of racing here across both tiers for the GT3s at Motive Racing. Let us know in the comments who your pick is for tonight, who's your money on, guys. Got a few comments coming in on the YouTube stream already here. We've got, let's just have a look, we've got Simon Blair, otherwise known as the Mutts Nuts, saying good luck lads. Kenny Kerwin also saying good luck everyone. Kenny, I think, should be racing tonight, but he might be in Tier 1. I don't know if he's been given an early promotion to Tier 1 or what it is, but he's not there right now. That's all I can tell you. Well, strange that, but yeah. Alright, we've got Miguel Grandon, otherwise known as Miguelito, regular racer in our Project Cars 2 GT3 League and current reigning champion of that league. Says good luck everybody, good to see Miguel in the comments. Also we've got Funny Guy saying he never got a lap in, unfortunately. That's a shame there for you, mate. As we've also got some more comments coming in here. We've got deedeeTKU says good luck everybody. Phil Atherton, otherwise known as DJ Phil, saying hi Andy, welcome along Phil, good to see you. Phil says what is on Motive at 8:15. We haven't got anything on at 8:15 tonight, Phil. With obviously the touring cars is finished early this season due to lack of interest. Next season we'll be looking at trying to bring something on board for Project Cars 2 around this time in the evening, but got something in the pipeline for the new season. I've got a little idea that I think it's going to take off pretty nicely, so there will be an announcement on the Discord server pretty soon as to what we'll be doing for next season. It will be a lengthy break we're going to have this summer. We're going to try and just get ourselves together, get ourselves in order, and then try and bring something to the table which is going to be very exciting for the drivers and for the viewers alike through September, October, November, December. The autumn and winter time is going to be our time to shine. But at the moment we're just getting ready to go for the Tier 2 race. These drivers just getting their last minute adjustments to their setups sorted out, and then we will be underway. But Simon Blair says we have mixed LMP2 GTE. We do on a Saturday, but Sunday night it's a little bit different. Sunday night we're not going to have the LMP2 GTEs tonight. No, not tonight. But here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds left to go. These drivers will be able to ready up right now and get themselves dialed in, ready to rock and roll. I'm not sure if we've got a manual formation lap or not. I think we might be without a formation lap here, because they seem to have been lining up on the back straight which leads up towards the last chicane. So I imagine that we're just going to have a short formation which is going to go through the last few corners, and then we'll be green flag at the end of this little sequence. So no manual formation lap, just straight into it by the looks of it. which has caught out a few drivers. It certainly caught me out on Monday night for the Porsche Super Cup, because they were going round and we pretty much went straight in. I wasn't even ready for it. I was I was sat there plugging the stream on Discord and Facebook and all that stuff. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I assumed we had a formation lap. Looked over at the end of the formation lap, and all of a sudden we were racing. We were 2 laps into the race. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest moment in the commentary box. But here we go then, out of the last corner. We're about to go racing here at the Nurburgring for round 5 of the GT3s here at Motive Racing, tier 2 of our Assetto Corsa Competizione leagues. And what's going to happen here? Who's going to be taking the spoils? Gonna gamble W, very close in terms of pace. Here we go, it's green. We are racing now. W has already got ahead of Gonna Gamble, out dragged him coming up towards the first corner, and looks like he's going to be followed through there also by Major Pump, sorry, not Major Pump even, as somebody's got around the outside there. LT Bongo has gone up to 3rd place there. He's made an absolutely unbelievable start, and he's got round all of them. Cosmic Mike's picked up a drive-through penalty, presumably for track limits. Eduardo's just behind LT Bongo there in 4th place, and he's got Kikua cars behind him right now. Mr. North London's been overtaken by Dylan McGivern, who's gone around the outside of it. Pretty much everybody there, but this is Gonna Gamble leading this race. In fact, no, he's not. He's behind W. Is still leading this race ahead of Gonna Gamble. There's Eduardo way back off to the back of the pack, as LT Bongo's got ahead of him. Also Major Pump as well, and Mr. North London. Oh, Mr. North London's in the wall though. Oh no, he's had a big incident there coming out of the Mercedes arena. The Aston Martin has stopped, and he's gonna have to, I think he's waiting for somebody, or has he been, yeah, he's been caught up with an incident with Light Blade. You just saw Light Blade there recovering the car, and he's off and on his way once again. But those two having a horror show there. W leads ahead of Gonna Gamble, LT Bongo, Eduardo in 4th, with Dylan McGivern there in P5. Spider-Man with a great start here up into 6th, and he's going to try and make the move here on Dylan McGivern there side by side, coming out of the hairpin up towards the Schumacher S. He's done that brilliantly there, as Spider-Man up into 5th on the Lolo. Major Pump, Cosmic Mike down to 9th place after a difficult start to this race with that drive-through penalty. There's Funny Guy, Lightblade running in 11th place, and Mr. North London and Sampa J has dropped even further back down to the back of the pack. He's now well off, and he's not even going in anywhere fast by the looks of it either. W though leads the race by 7/10 of a second ahead of Gonna Gamble. LT Bongo there sat in 3rd, just ahead of Eduardo, slow at the moment, with Dylan McGivern and Spider-Man not too far off of the back of these guys there, running in 5th and 6th places right now. Major Pump there in 8th, with Cosmic Mike has dropped off for these a little bit. Funny Guy just a tad though over the course of this lap, and it looks like we've already lost a couple of drivers from the race in the first lap of this one, so that is not what you want to see there for any of those guys. Gonna Gamble though has already opened up, in fact, no, hold on, W's disconnected. No way. W's already disconnected from the race. He took the lead on the first lap. I don't know what has gone on there, but there's a couple of drivers that disconnected from the session. Gonna Gamble still leads ahead of LT Bongo. There's Dylan McGivern sat in 3rd. Major Pump in P4 right now, just ahead of Lolo, who's running 1.6 seconds behind him. Funny Guy in 6th with Lightblade, Cosmic Mike, Mr. North London. Those two at the back, Cosmic Mike and Mr. North London, both coming into the pits at the end of the opening lap to get damage repairs. So clearly it's not been the first lap for them. Gonna Gamble though will be counting his chickens now, because he's now got himself back into the lead after W had to presumably got disconnected from the race. Not at all what we expected to see there, but he's out of this one. That is his race done and dusted, and that is really unfortunate there for him, because I think he did everything he had to do on that first lap. Hopefully we'll get some idea of what's gone on there, but yeah, that is a bit of a head scratcher, I've got to say. Not really what we were hoping for in the box here, but no word as of yet. Eduardo says, I don't know why, but I got disconnected, so he's obviously a connection issue there. No word yet on what happened to W, but yeah, Spider-Man there saying he got disconnected as well. Eduardo and Spider-Man both back in the lobby. Mr. North London sat in the pit lane at the moment. We don't know what to say about that one. That is really strange. I don't know what to say. I really don't, because all I can suggest, guys, is no, I don't know whether we can. Obviously, without our ACC league coordinator today, Sergey's away from the action, so kind of having to think on my feet right now. I don't really know. Just gonna have to stick with this one, guys, because we had 2 drivers disconnect. It's not really a mass disconnection. We're just gonna have to keep with it and keep going, because there's not a whole lot we can do about it. But obviously points will be awarded to drivers who do get out onto the track and start racing now, and you know, with points up to possibly 11th or 12th places up for grabs. We do recommend that drivers get back in and get those points on the board. However frustrating it can be to have obviously missed out on what could have been a higher finish, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say right now. The G Portal, the server issues seem to have come back and bitten us again. Despite what we've done over the past week, we've got in touch with them. We've tried to get our server problems sorted out, but to no avail, it seems. That is really frustrating. I can't understand why these server issues are occurring, but right now Gunnar Gamble leads the race. He's got 7.5 seconds over LT Bongo right now. Major Pump's still sat in that final podium spot ahead of Dylan McGivern. Funny Guy running in 5th place, Lightbake, Londololo, Cosmic Mike in 8th right now, Eduardo sat in 9th, and Spider-Man running in 10th place right now.
seconds. 10 seconds. Green light, go, go, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting going for the manual formation lap here at the start of this race for round 5 of the GT3 Championship here on ACC at Motive Racing. We're at the Nurburgring GP track, and these guys are just getting into the order that they qualified in. Not they qualified in, but that they were in after the at the stoppage point in the initial start to this race. So LT Bongo is leading us around for this formation lap at the moment. I'll quickly take you through the grid order here. So it's no, in fact, sorry, it's Gunnar Gamble should be leading the race, not LT Bongo. So it's Gunnar Gamble leading us around. LT Bongo in second. Major Pump we're lining up in third with Dylan McGivern fourth. Dylan's already picked up a drive through for a jump start. Funny Guy in P5, Lightblade 6th, On the Lolo 7th, Eduardo 8th, Spider-Man 9th, W in 10th, and Sampa J in 11th. Dylan, if you're listening to the stream, mate, if you want... Oh god, hold on, what's Spider-Man doing? Right, so Spider-Man will get black flagged for this one. Gunnar Gamble's just waiting up for the last corner, so just stay there, Gunnar Gamble, keep doing what you're doing, just wait up. Just wait up for the pack and we'll go here, alright? So just stay where you are, because Spider-Man's going to get a black flag, he's going to be disqualified, just act like he's not there. I don't know what he's playing at, but we're going to just ignore him for today. So Spider-Man, LT Bongo, Major Pump, Dylan coming up towards the last corner, coming into the pits to serve that drive through. Oh, it's Funny Guy there coming into the last corner on the Lolo, Eduardo, W Sampa and Lightblade making up the 10 car field. So here we go, Gunnar Gamble can go here and we'll be lights out for the race officially. So yep, here we go, green, green, green. We are lights out here finally for the start of this race. Well, the continuation of this race, but Gunnar Gamble leads coming up towards turn 1. LT Bongo tucks in just behind him there as he's having a little look coming into the first corner. He's made that actually up the inside there. LT Bongo's got ahead of Gunnar Gamble up into the lead, and Major Pump there just sat in behind these on the Lolo just behind there in P4 right now. Funny Guy running in what is a net 5th with Eduardo. Lightblade looking to the inside of Eduardo, coming through the Mercedes arena, side by side. Eduardo riding over the curve a little bit, and Lightblade's picked him off up into upper position there, as W's running a little way behind these guys. He's not had the best of starts to this one. GT3 running in P11 right now, but Gonna Gamble has lost out there to LT Bongo and now runs in second place here in this race, as this is going to get so confusing throughout the course of this race. The timing board is bad enough with the drivers in their respective order, but when they're not, it just makes it 10 times more difficult, as this man Spider-Man, just to fill you in ladies and gentlemen, is not in first place. He's disregarded the manual formation lap that we've ordered at the start of this race, so he's not going to be counting in this race. So LT Bongo is the leader ahead of Gonna Gamble and Major Pump. Funny Guy's dropping off at his back a little bit now. He's been passed there by, no, he's not been passed by Lightblade, he's still running ahead of them. And Funny Guy's got a second back to On the Lolo and Lightblade, and Eduardo running just behind them. Dylan McGivern has come out 7 seconds behind this pack there in P8 in this race after that drive-through penalty that he picked up for a jump start. He's only a couple of seconds ahead of this man W, who's running in 9th, and GT3 running in P10, that final position here in this race. As LT Bongo's coming out of the last corner, has the lead of this race. Gonna Gamble and Major Pump in hot contention though, as they're coming out onto the start-finish straight now for the second time here in this second part of this Tier 2 race for round 5 of the GT3s at Motive, as it appears that one of the drivers has disconnected again from the race. We've had another disconnection from the race, so once again we are down another driver. Looks like the servers playing absolute havoc with us tonight. For whatever reason, it's just been a disaster with the servers, and that's a real shame. That is a real shame. Kenny Kerwin says no problem, not sure what went wrong, but we is delayed. Yeah, unfortunately so. Rakim, we'll be starting Tier 1 around just after 7 o'clock. We should be starting Tier 1. So you see the timer in the top right, think of that as that's the countdown to Tier 1 essentially. As soon as this is over, we'll get this server reset and we'll be straight into Tier 1. But right now, LT Bongo is your race leader, and he's got Gonna Gamble and Major Pump very close behind him. This developing into an interesting 3-car battle here for the lead for these Tier 2s. It's been an intriguing battle since the beginning, and Gonna Gamble got jumped into turn 1 almost immediately by LT Bongo, and LT Bongo is doing really well to hold off the charge of these two, Gonna Gamble and Major Pump so far. Lightblade's closing in on this pack while they battle it out as well. He's only 1.7 seconds off of the back of them, so Lightblade's really getting some work done here in this race. Just to fill those of you in, Spider-Man is not in the race. He jumped to the start, disregarded the manual formation lap, so he will be disqualified from this race. So LT Bongo is your leader ahead of Gonna Gamble and Major Pump at the moment. Funny Guys 3/10 off for the back of Eduardo, currently sat in 6th place at the moment. Dylan McGivern in 7th with W 8th, and GT3 running out the field in 9th place right now. As LT Bongo looks like he's been passed up the inside there by Gonna Gamble coming through the final corner, but he's going to get a better out onto the start-finish straight. Here we go, we are side by side coming under the BMW Power Bridge. It looks like LT Bongo's just got the legs on the outside there of Spider-Man up towards turn 1. He's going to cover that one off and cut across him there. As we can see there, Major Pump making a move to the inside now of Gonna Gamble. Gonna Gamble's going to try and hang it around the outside here of turns 1 and 2. Into the Mercedes arena they come. Is Gonna Gamble going to be able to hold on and keep onto that position of Major Pump? He does. He runs him out of road there. Major Pump tucks in behind, and Lightblade's still running there in 4th place right now. And LT Bongo is managing to watch all of this go on in his rearview mirrors and hold on to this lead of this race. This is now developing into a very exciting battle here for the lead of the race. 4 cars now involved in the battle for the lead here at the Nurburgring. Great stuff here from all of these drivers. LT Bongo will definitely be happy that he managed to get the jump on Gonna Gamble at the beginning, because it's given him that ascendancy, it's given him the chance to really show what he can do here. But Gonna Gamble is so close up his rear as they come down towards the hairpin now. He's a little bit too far back to go for a move onto the brakes, and for now LT Bongo is going to cover that line off and hold on to the position there. Lightblade's got ahead of Major Pump up into 3rd place, so Lightblade's making good progress here. He can now try and focus his attention on LT Bongo and Gonna Gamble, but I'm sure that Major Pump's not done in that little battle there. These have gapped Eduardo and Funny Guy quite considerably now. These two have got 3 seconds back to Dylan McGivern, who in turn is being reeled in now by W, and Sampa still running in at P9. Not having the best of races tonight is Sampa so far. Gonna gamble though. Technically, your pole sitter here for this one, and he's still trying to get something done here with LT Bongo just to fill the viewers in, the 50 people watching on stream right now. Spider-Man did jump the start on the formation lap. He didn't adhere to the full manual formation lap, which we said on the Discord server, so he's going to be disqualified from the race. So just try and imagine that LT Bongo is the race leader here, and he's running just ahead of Gunner Gamble. Gunner Gamble's gone off! Oh no, he's gone off onto the gravel, onto the grass even. I didn't see what happened there to Gunner Gamble, but he's had a horror show there, and LT Bongo left clear away in the lead of the race. Lightblade there is up into second place, Major Pump third, and Gunner Gamble has retired from the session. He's out of the race. I didn't see what happened there. He was just parked on the grass. He clearly made a mistake, or some kind of incident had occurred, and he's out of this race. Lightblade is up into second place, and he can now try and chase down LT Bongo, the race leader, but that is absolutely disastrous there for Gunner Gamble. He will take no further part in this race and will score no points here. Crucially, he'll score no points in his championship because we're less than 75% of the race distance. That has all gone horribly wrong there for Gunner Gamble. Lazy Camel saying in the comments, evening, I thought you were racing in this one, Kenny Kerwin. Kenny's racing in Tier 1 tonight, Lazy Camel. He's with the big boys here, out on track for this one. Down to 8 drivers here in this race, excluding Spider-Man, who obviously jumped the start. LT Bongo is your race leader ahead of Lightblade. He's got just over a second to him now, so this race settling down a little bit, and he looks like he's pretty comfortable in that lead for the time being. What has Lightblade got to try and offer LT Bongo here? Major Pump still kind of just tagging the back of Lightblade at the moment, but Lightblade looks like he's got the pace over him at this point. These 3 7 seconds clear of Eduardo, sat in 4th place with Funny Guy still 2 tenths off the back of him, and these two have been joined at the hip for the last few laps, but still no changes in terms of the order between those two as they are coming in towards Nate's left-hander at the top of the hill. 4 seconds back to Dylan, who's dropping off of these two now. W still running in 7th place, and Sampa rounding out the field. W's now dropping off at the back of Dylan a little bit though in that battle for 6th. LT Bongo gets a little bit onto the grass there as he comes into the chicane. Almost spinned it there, but he's still clinging onto this lead by the skin of his teeth. Lightblade has really done some work here on this lap though. He's got that gap down to 7 tenths of a second. He's now right up his bumper here, coming out onto the start-finish straight. Is Lightblade going to be able to use this toe, use that slipstream to his advantage here as they come down the start-finish straight now? LT Bongo weaving around a little bit, trying to break that toe if he can. Lightblade looking to the inside, trying to distract him in the mirrors, and LT Bongo is going to go very defensive coming into turn 1. And Lightblade's not going to be able to get it around him. He's also got Major Pump looking to his inside as well. But for now, Lightblade is able to hold on there for that 2nd place, and he's not able to make any gains there on LT Bongo just for now. Tucks in behind, ready to go again. Lives to fight another day there. 8 minutes left to go here in this session for the Tier 2s. Been a really exciting race since the beginning of this one. Unfortunately, we lost Gunner Gamble, the pole sitter, due to, I think, a retirement, because he binned it onto the grass, and I think he was out of frustration, just retired the car from the session. But he's out, so it's down to LT Bongo, Lightblade and Major Pump for the win here in this race, as Lightblade's looking all over the back here of LT Bongo. Has a little feint to the inside, coming into the braking zone for the hairpin, but he's going to think better of that one. He's not quite close enough, not within striking distance. Lightblade is a man who we've seen many times over the course of this motive racing, has been involved in battles for the lead where he's usually the chasing car. He generally hunts down the race leader or whoever's in front of him and puts them under pressure, eventually waiting for them to make a mistake. 2 situations spring to mind, the first of which was against D-Crocs at Silverstone in the Porsche Super Cup in wet conditions, where he was just right on the back of D-Crocs for the whole of the race. Last lap forced D-Crocs into a mistake, and he went a little bit wide, and Lightblade got the win in that one. There was also another situation where he didn't come out on top, and that was at Zandvoort in the wet, also in the Porsche Super Cup, where he was behind Sergey Zeynalov, and Sergey managed to hold him off in a phenomenal display of composure and cool calmness from the Russian driver, our lead coordinator now, obviously not with us tonight unfortunately, but hopefully watching this. But he can see his old nemesis Lightblade really putting the pressure on LT Bongo as they're coming down the start finish straight now. 2 tenths of a second separating the two of them as LT Bongo once again goes defensive coming into the braking zone. Lightblade's not quite as close as he was in the previous lap, so not quite as much of a danger there for LT Bongo, but Lightblade's still pushing him, trying to go around the outside here at the Mercedes Arena. I think LT Bongo's going to cover that one off on the inside. He should be okay there, but Major Pump dropping off of these two as they are starting to really charge now. It's getting a very, very intense between these two right now as Lightblade's looking to the outside, still can't get it done on LT Bongo just at the moment. It's been pretty much, this has been the way it is for the last few laps. LT Bongo took the lead off of Gunnar Gamble coming into turn 1 on that one, and then since then has controlled the race. Gunnar Gamble went off onto the grass, retired the car a couple of laps ago, and it's been LT Bongo and Lightblade showing the way. Major Pumps gained a bit of time on them coming through that first sector though, but he hasn't been able to get onto the back of them just at the moment. But KG intense, 5 minutes left to go here in this race. What is going to happen here between LT Bongo and Lightblade? Spider-Man obviously technically the race leader, but I will remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that he is not going to win this race because he jumped the start. He missed out the manual formation lap that we said that we were going to have on the Discord server, so he will be given the black flag once we get to the end of this race. He must surely know it because he just drove off at the start, and everybody else was cruising along, getting themselves into the grid order, and he just drove off. So he must have had some kind of inkling that something was going on, surely. But anyway, LT Bongo is your race leader ahead of Lightblade, and these two, 0.2 of a second separating him up the hill towards the chicane. Lightblade's still a little bit too far back, and LT Bongo gets wheeled onto the gas there, and that would have put him very, very unstable there coming into the corner. He holds onto it. He's now having to go defensive coming into the final corner, not the line you want to be taking. Coming onto that corner, oh, bit of contact there as he tries to cover Lightblade off to the outside. He's covering him over, trying to push him out wide and put him off going for the move, but he tucks in behind us Lightblade for now, and crucially that has just delayed his charge a little bit. He didn't get the exit out of that last corner that he's been getting over the last couple of laps, and LT Bongo reasonably comfortable this time around coming into turn 1. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in this session. We got 3 laps left at the Nurburgring for the tier 2s for the GT3s. What an incredible race this has been. It took us a while to get it going, but once we got it going, it has not disappointed. LT Bongo and Lightblade putting on a fantastic show here at the front. A second and a half back to Major Pump, sat in 3rd place right now. Eduardo still just behind Funny Guy, running in 6th place at the moment, with Dylan McGivern 5 seconds off the back of these. W running in 7th. He's coming into the pits, not sure why, but he's clearly unhappy with something with the car. And Sampa J in 8th place at the moment, a little way off the leaders. So LT Bongo 0.4 of a second. This is gap to Lightblade as they come up towards the valley section here, and sorry, not the valley section, the hairpin even. And Lightblade's got a good run there coming out of the corner. LT Bongo's going to have the inside for the Schumacher S. Surely he's going to cover that one off and try and run him out of road, but Lightblade's still there. He's going to put his car to the outside. LT Bongo has to give him a little bit of space there. Was there contact between the two? I think Lightblade in the end very sensibly got out of that one, but LT Bongo living dangerously here. Lightblade is looking for every little opportunity he can, but still can't get it for now. This is just shaping up to be one of the most classic final laps here at Motive Racing. Lightblade doing what he does best, hunting down the leader and putting the pressure on. But has he dropped off at the back a bit coming through this section of the track? I think he has. He has, yeah, he's dropped off by about a second or two. 1.7 now separating these two as we're about to start the penultimate lap of the race. Has he got what it takes to bring that gap back down again and bring himself into striking distance here on this final lap of the race? There's 2 laps left to go here at the Nurburgring for Motive Racing's GT3 Championship. This is round 5, tier 2 of this one, and coming into turn 1, Lightblade's already taken 0.4 of a second back on LT Bongo coming through that last section of the track. He's definitely going to be giving him something to think about in the final part of this race, that is for sure. Spider-Man obviously not in the race, jumped the start on the formation lap, so he's not going to be included in the end of race classification. Frederick Boyspert saying in the comments, Andy, I'm with Major Pump, and it says that he needs to turn his lights on. Yeah, you do need to make sure your lights are on, otherwise it's a danger to yourself and to cars around you. In the night time you're going to need to put those headlights on for sure, guys. But LT Bongo and Lightblade now separated by even less. Lightblade has continued to carve that gap down after that little mistake, little skirmish those two had on the previous lap. It's not taken Lightblade any time at all to bring himself back onto the rear end of the leader. Now Now obviously they're saying there that Spider-Man, the race leader, is on the last lap, but he's not the race leader. He will be disqualified from the race due to his jump start. So this is the battle for the lead here, LT Bongo and Lightblade. They got a lap and a half left to go, and Lightblade, you see the ease he's had in pulling up onto the back of him. He's clearly got the pace, but LT Bongo is just so wily, such a good defensive driver. He's able to hold Lightblade off, even though Lightblade is considerably quicker. As Lightblade's having a lovely little look coming into the chicane, can't get it done right now. It's going to have to be a last lap dash here for Lightblade. What has LT Bongo got to hold him off? He's got to just give it everything. Oh, and Lightblade's got a good run coming out the chicane, and has got it underneath him coming in towards the final corner. LT Bongo's going to try and come back at him here. Is he going to be close enough to stay in that slipstream and try and come back coming into turn one? Lightblade leads the race for the first time here in this evening, and is LT Bongo going to try and make a move here? Is he going to pull out to the right hand side there? Here we come in towards turn one we go. LT Bongo making that move back on Lightblade into the corner. Has he gone deep? Is Lightblade going to get the cut back on him? I think he is. Lightblade holds on to the lead there and is very much now in control of this race. He's hunted them down. He got ahead of Gunner Gamble. He's got ahead of Major Pump. He's now ahead of LT Bongo, and Lightblade has come from near enough the back of the field to take the lead of this race. Less than a lap left to go now, but half a lap left to go. What a job Lightblade has done. LT Bongo fought that valiantly, made the move back on him coming into the first corner, but went a little bit deep into the corner, and Lightblade slipped underneath him, and that's all he needed to take back the lead of the race. Absolutely brilliant stuff here on the final lap at the Nurburgring GP track. Spider-Man will come across the line shortly to finish the race, but he doesn't realise yet he's going to pick up a black flag due to jumping the start. So out of the last corner and over the line he comes to finish the race.
Has finished the race.
Stop-go penalty of 30 seconds awarded to his final race finishing time. It's going to be more than that. Lightblade though has got a few corners left to go. He's already pulled out a 1.2 second gap over LT Bongo on this final lap since he's got ahead. Lightblade has done absolute bits here in this race. Got himself ahead of Major Pump, got himself in front of Gunner Gamble. Gunner Gamble then proceeded to go onto the grass and retire the car from the race, having started on pole position. He's now made that move. A brilliant overtake on LT Bongo on that final lap. Lightblade once again showing he's one of the best drivers at coming back through the pack, and he's going to take the checkered flag here at the Nurburgring. Lightblade is your winner, takes maximum points here for the Tier 2 race, does a few little weaves across the line, and he's your man tonight here. What a brilliant job from Lightblade to have managed to overhaul LT Bongo in the last knockings of that race. LT Bongo is going to be gutted, but to be fair, he went down fighting in that one. He gave it absolutely everything he has and comes over to finish in second. Major Pump completing your podium in third. Eduardo fourth. That's a funny guy quite classified Eduardo third, funny guy fourth. Dylan McGivern classified it in fifth with Major Pump sixth. Sampa seventh. W in 8th, 4 laps down. Gunner Gamble on the low, both retired from the session. Spider-Man may pick up points for 9th possibly. We'll have to wait and see what the steward's decision on that is. But that is that for the Tier 2s, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for the Tier 1s coming up very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Drop a like if you haven't already, guys, on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the action. Join us at motorracing.com. Get involved in the Discord server. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for Tier 1s. Stay tuned and see you in a moment. Big shout out to the only G, thanks for watching. Good to see you clicking on the stream on your multiple different accounts and chiming in. Hope you're having a good night. Big shout out to the only G, thanks for watching. Good to see you clicking on the stream on your multiple different accounts. It's quite hard to quantify the exact level of pathetic that from yourself going on to all your accounts and disliking the stream, trying to discredit somebody's hard work when they're doing a free service and just trying to give other people some happiness and joy. And you know what I mean? It's just a bit pathetic, but hey, keep hating, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Haters never prosper. All they ever amount themselves to is the people who they hate on. That's their limit. That's all they're ever gonna aspire to be. We will see you in the next one. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the little delay getting going for the Tier 1 qualifying session on the commentary, but we're here at the Nurburgring for the second race of the evening. We had a very exciting first race with the Tier 2s. We had Lightblade having a great little scrap in that one, and in the end he managed to overhaul LT Bongo right on the last lap and take the win. And Lightblade is racing in the Tier 1s tonight as a very special guest. He's currently sat in the pits. He won't be qualifying for this one, presumably trying to repeat the feat that he did in the first race of the evening, the Tier 2s. Obviously stepping up to Tier 1s due to missing a few tonight in terms of the numbers, so he's going to be showing these top level drivers what he's able to do. He came from the back to win a Tier 2s, so don't put it past him to do the same here, but he's going to have a stiffer test. He's got Quadeo currently top of the leaderboard on 1:55.9. He's got 9/10 of a second clear of Greenwood at the top of that leaderboard. Greenwood's coming in towards the final corner now. Let's see what he's able to put on the board. Here he comes, gets his foot to the floor, out onto the start finish straight now. What is this going to be for the man in the number 18 Ferrari? See if he can get a little bit closer to Quadeo. Not for now though, stays in P2 for the time being. Marty Road Racing sat in the pits. He's done a time good enough for third. deedeeTKU currently sat in fourth right now with Rompu fifth. He's just coming up towards the final couple of corners. Here he comes into the chicane. Let's see what Rompu's able to do here, as he's got one corner left to take here in the AMG, our regular in the Porsche Super Cup Series here at Motive, and one of our seasoned veterans as well, has been racing at Motive almost since the beginning. Let's see what he's able to do as he comes up towards the line. He improves by a 10th, but not enough to move himself up ahead of deedeeTKU, who's still sat in fourth. RaKiMaJe sat in at 6th at the moment. He's on the lap. It looks like he's coming through the final few corners, driving in a Lexus, not the easiest car to get right. Kenny out there in 7th. Tom still yet to do a lap in 8th. Leon Seeley, the big shock of this session, down in 9th, hasn't done a lap. Maze Gamer's got his pad working in 10th. Lightblade hasn't done a lap. He's going to try to do last to first, but RaKiMaJe out of the last corner. What's he able to do here? Gets all over that curve on the exit of the last corner. Not that's going to affect him too much. He has improved his time, but not by enough to move himself up the order, so he stays in 6th. Greenwood's coming through the Schumacher S right now. Rompu's just coming to the end of the first sector. You've got Kenny coming in towards the final corner. What's he going to be able to put on the board? Tom's also coming towards the latter stages of the lap. Kenny though, out to the start finish straight, currently sat in 7th. Can he move up the order? Can he find himself a little bit of time? He does improve there, but not by enough to move himself up the order. He finds 6/10, but stays in 7th place. Greenwood coming into the valley. He's 9/10 adrift of Quadeo. What can he do? Can he get himself a little bit closer maybe and bring himself some confidence coming into the race? Quadeo doing a scorcher of a lap there in the 155s. What's Greenwood got up his sleeve? In towards the final corner he comes. He needs to get this one right. He needs to get tight on the entry and then get onto the throttle as early as he can. Here he comes up towards the line now. What is it going to be for Greenwood? He stays in P2, can't improve very much at all there. So Quadeo on pole, Greenwood 2nd, Marty 3rd, deedeeTKU 4th. What can Rompu do here? He's 1.9 seconds adrift. RaKiMaJe's called it a day. Kenny's in the pits. Tom, Leon, Maze and Lightblade all done for the session. It's all on this man here, Rompu now. Can he get himself maybe into 3rd ahead of Marty, possibly even on the front row, maybe ahead of Greenwood? He's going to put his foot to the floor here as he comes up towards the line. What is it going to be for Rompu? He moves himself up into 4th, so he displaces deedeeTKU, but not enough to get himself into 3rd ahead of Marty Road Racing. Flash the lights from Rompu. He's pretty chuffed with that one, but he will be disappointed not to have got onto the front row, I'm sure. But that looks like it's going to be that then for the Tier 1 qualifying session. 11 cars on the grid. We've got Quadeo at the front, ahead of Greenwood in 2nd. Marty Road Racing and Rompu will be lining up on the 2nd row with deedeeTKU, RaKiMaJe, Kenny and Tom in 7th and 8th places. Leon Seeley and Maze Gamer, Lightblade at the back. Leon, Tom, Lightblade, Maze, these drivers all very, very solid. They're going to be coming back through the pack during this one, so that is going to add an extra element to this race and make it that a little bit more interesting. But anything can happen here in this one. Let us know in the comments who your pick is for this race win. Who's your money on, guys? Who do you fancy? It's looking very much like Quadeo's got the upper hand in this one, but don't rule out Greenwood. I'm sure he's going to be giving this one a good fight. Very, very happy to see JR Sim Racing in the comments section. Big welcome back there, mate. Good to have you showing up and putting your support for the Team Run DJC boys. He's going to get in behind Rompu, Lightblade, Dede, Marty. 4 drivers representing Team Run DJC out of the 11 out on track, so great to see them out in force tonight. Let's see if they can pick up a win maybe. Marty's got to be their best shot of taking home maximum points tonight. Maze Gamers All good, mate, says Kenny. Maybe May's just apologising for something. I'm not sure 100% what's gone on there. Scooter here, Paul in the comments, our regular in the Porsche Super Cup, saying, come on, Raki, let's get it. As we are at the end of the qualifying session, but some people will be aware that there's usually a little bit of a delay just getting the race going from the qualifying session. Not 100% sure what it is that causes this little this interval bit, but while we're here, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone watching the stream right now, all those who have liked the video, patrons of Motive Racing as well, those of you who donate to us using the Patreon service. That's what's helping us at the moment get through these difficult times and fund these servers that we've got. We run 3 servers on the PlayStation, we've got a server on PC as well, which currently isn't being used for any league racing, but it's there. If people from Motive who run on the PC want to do it, you know, have a little bit of fun and chill out on the PC, race with each other, then they can do that. But it's down to you guys that we're able to still run these leagues and fund these servers. So a huge thank you to all the patrons here who have subscribed for this month. Your support and your faith and sticking by us, it means so much at this time. It really does. We could not continue without you, so we literally could not do this without you. So it is really appreciated. As we are coming in towards the 1 minute to go until we go lights out here for the Tier 1 race. Very exciting Tier 2 race earlier on. We saw Lightblade overhaul LT Bongo. He's racing tonight as a cameo for Tier 1. Would this potentially be a gateway to him joining the Tier 1s as a permanent driver? We'll have to see what he's capable of doing here out on track. Starting at the back, he's got to do this one the hard way. But is he up to the challenge? That is the question. That is what we're going to find out here over the next 1 hour. 30 seconds left to go until we're going to go green here for this one. I think it's going to be straight into the race. I don't believe we're going to be set for a formation. I could be wrong on that one, but I don't think we are. I think it's going to be straight in, as we are now moments away from the start. The car's coming off their jacks and getting ready to go racing. They'll have a quick, just a short little run around the chicane when they head up towards the top of the hill, and then they'll go around the final few corners, and then once they come out onto the start finish straight, that will be it. We will be racing proper for this Tier 1 race, round 5 of the season for Motive Racing's GT3 Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione here at the Nurburgring. Delighted to say we've got 11 people watching the stream right now. We've got Raki in the comments there saying, Scooter Paul, thanks mate. Scooter Paul was obviously getting behind Raki in the comments there, backing him for the win here. Let's see what Raki can do from 6th on the grid. Definitely not too far back to be in with the shout of a podium spot as we're now coming through the final corner. So it's going to be Cordeo leading us away for this one. Greenwood's going to be looking to try and get a jump on him if he can. It's not going to be easy though, that is for sure.
Green light, green light. Go,
so this is it, we're underway, we're racing now, and looks as though Cordeo gets away nicely. Yet he's managed to keep onto the lead there. Greenwood looking to his outside, coming up towards turn 1, as we've got Marty looking up the inside here. Has he got to move on Greenwood? They're side by side. Greenwood's going to try and hang it around the outside of Marty, and does hold on for that 2nd place there. Rompu just behind them in 4th has managed to hold on to that position for now. He's got deedeeTKU looking to his outside, can't get it done. Raki has lost out a position there. Lightblade's got ahead of sorry, that's Kenny there. Kenny's lost out to Lightblade as Raki's got Kenny side by side with him. These two side by side coming out of the Mercedes arena, and I think that Kenny has got that position done there on Raki, so he's got it up into 6th place there. Nicely done from Kenny. Lightblade though was the man making moves there at the start of the race. Has he no, was it? Yeah, he was. So Lightblade has made up a few positions at the start. Cordeo though leads the race ahead of Greenwood right now. Marty Road Racing sat just behind them in 3rd place at the moment. Rompu 4th. deedeeTKU has dropped way back down the field. He's made a mistake there coming through the Mercedes arena. He has dropped back to last place here. He is well out of the picture. Mace Gave has got himself up into 5th place. Lightblade did get up into 6th ahead of Kenny and RaKiMaJe. RaKiMaJe's dropped behind Leon Seeley, so Leon's made a decent first few corners. RaKiMaJe is dropping back through the pack like no one's business. deedeeTKU running him down in 10th, and Tom has had a horror show of a start to this race as well. In fact, did he Tom is what has happened to Tom? I don't know what's happening there with Tom. He's actually running ahead of deedeeTKU, but he's 13 seconds off of the back of the rest of the pack as Quadeo leads by 0.6 of a second ahead of Greenwood right now. Marty, Rompu, Maze and Lightblade looking very, very close. Lightblade's all over the back of Maze. Lightblade has been doing absolute bits over the course of tonight. We saw him taking the win in Tier 2. He's got a call up to Tier 1 here. He's looking up to the inside of the chicane here on Maze, but Maze is going to cover that one off for now and hold on to that position. But Lightblade is really giving him pressure here as we see Leon Seeley cutting the chicane there in the background, trying to get this move done on Kenny, and he's going to surely have to back out a little bit there. RaKi gets around the outside of Leon Seeley and up into 8th place. Leon not making the best of progress in the early stage of this race, but he did start from the back, and we know he's got the pace. He's won the last 2 races from pole, so Leon not having the race that he would be hoping for this time around. Marty just ahead of Rompu, Maze Gamer, Lightblade there running in 6th place. Kenny just ahead of RaKi right now. Leon still continuing to put the pressure on RaKi for 8th place. Tom running around in 10th place right now after that pretty disastrous first lap, to say the least, as deedeeTKU's running in 11th place right now. But this is your man leading the race. Quadeo has got the ascendancy in the early stages of this race. He's keeping that lead, but Greenwood's not allowing him to run off into the distance. He's still just keeping tabs with him at the moment, keeping him honest, and definitely going to give him something to worry about in this race. Marty running in that final podium spot with Rompu still over the back of him. Maze Gamer with Lightblade. Kenny is dropping off at the back of this pack a little bit now, but the lead pack of 6 cars is now starting to lead the rest of them. RaKi running just under a second behind Kenny in 8th place, with Leon Seeley just behind him. Tom is a long way ahead of deedeeTKU now, as Leon's got ahead of RaKi up into 8th place. As Quadeo looks like he's got now 1.2 seconds back to Greenwood, so he's starting to build up a little bit of a buffer, not massive, but he's definitely got a cushion. He's comfortable in that lead of the race. Marty's got Rompu very, very close in his quarters at the moment, and Maze, in fact Maze has lost out. Lightblade is up into, no, he's still there, sorry, I do apologise. It's Marty running just ahead of Rompu, and Maze and Lightblade all very, very close behind them, so it's a train of what is essentially 4 cars here, being led by, in fact no, hold on, no, Rompu's got ahead of Marty up into 3rd. He's cleared this pack of 3 cars pretty sufficiently actually. Rompu's now quite a way ahead of these, and we've got Lightblade looking to the inside of Maze, coming into the final corner, goes over the curb a little bit, trying to get the move done, but he's going to have to think better of that one. Has to tuck in and try and go for the move coming down the start finish straight. He's going to get a lovely toe here. Is Lightblade tucked into that slipstream here? Is he going to pull out and try and make this move coming into turn 1? Maze is on the outside. Lightblade pulls out. Here we go, into turn 1 we come. Lightblade is going to try and make another move here in this tier 1 race here at the Nurburgring, but Maze once again covers that one off really nicely, and there's no way through for Lightblade right now, so Maze is definitely not going to be bending over and letting Lightblade just drive past him here. Oh sorry, lie down shall I say. But Quadeo leads the race by just over 2 seconds to Greenwood at this point. Quadeo is pulling out that gap. He's got that pace, he's got the speed, he's got the ascendancy, he's got the gap. Greenwood there second. We've got Rompu dropping off the back of Greenwood just a little bit now, 1.3 seconds behind, but this is really the battle we want to be watching at the moment, because we've got Marty, Maze and Lightblade separated by not much at all, as Maze is now really having to fight to keep Lightblade behind him, running over the grass a little bit there, getting a little bit out of shape here and there. Lightblade is still looking, still probing and pushing for any little mistakes that he can out of Maze, but Maze at the moment is keeping it squeaky clean and not giving him anything to go on for the time being. As we can see, Marty's still on the back of Rompu, 7/10 of a second behind him on the track at this point. Lightblade still hasting the back of Maze, gets a nice run coming out of the Schumacher S, side by side. He's going to have that move done, I think, coming into this left hander at the top of the hill. Lightblade's got himself up into 5th place there. Maze Gamer fought that well, but Lightblade is going to be able to move himself up into another position and make some continued progress here in this race. Good move there from Lightblade, as Quadeo is still leading this race by 2 seconds ahead of Greenwood. Rompu starting to lose time a little bit to Marty. Marty's reeled him in a little bit over the course of this lap so far. 6/10 separating Rompu and Marty, as Lightblade is just there ahead of Maze Gamer. Maze Gamer clouts that curb a little bit coming through the chicane. These two have got Leon Seeley reeling them in as well in 7th place, so he's managed to clear Kenny a little bit. Kenny's not dropping off the back of Leon too much, to be fair, still within a second of him right now. RaKi running in 9th place, he's dropped it back a little bit. Tom is gaining on this pack though, and Tom I'm sure is going to be out there looking to try and pick up a top 5 here in this race. After a horrible first lap to this race, he can only go up from here. deedeeTKU still running in 11th place, still sticking with it, good to see, but he'll get some good points there for 11th, despite the fact that he'd rather be higher up in the order, I'm sure of that. So Marty's still on the back of Rompu right now, 6/10 separating Rompu and Marty Road Racing as they're coming out of this first sector here, lap 4 of the race. And Rompu did actually get ahead of Marty a couple of laps ago, started to put out a gap, started to put a bit of space between them, but now Marty's managed to bring that gap back down again, so he's brought himself back into this fight here with Rompu. Lightblade's 1.7 seconds off at the back of Marty, so after getting ahead of Maze, he is now very much setting his sights on these two in front. Everybody's losing time to the race leader, Cordeo, who's got a 2.8 second lead over Greenwood, and Greenwood's continuing to put out the gap to the rest of these guys. So really, this battle for third is best of the rest at the moment, with the front two really clearing off into the distance. So Rompu, Marty, Lightblade. This battle for third, 2.5 seconds back to Maze, who's got Leon all over the back of him now, coming through the Schumacher S, and Maze gets a little bit onto the gravel there. You could hear the gravel being kicked up by the tyres. Leon a little bit too far back to go for the move, coming into the left-hander, and he's going to have to tuck in behind him for the time being. Kenny's got RaKiMaJe all over him as well. He's made a mistake there, I think, through that sector, Kenny, because RaKiMaJe is very, very close in contention at this point. Rompu's still running just in front of Marty, but for how much longer? Marty's looking to the outside, and Rompu's going to, I think, back out of this one. He does. Marty swoops around the outside of the chicane into third place, and now Lightblade's looking to get involved in this action as well. Rompu's still clinging on to that fourth place, coming into the final corner. Lightblade's going to look to try and get a good exit here in the Bentley and use that grunt, but the AMG's got pretty solid straight line speed as well. Down the start finish straight they come. Rompu gets a slightly wobbly exit coming out in the last corner, and Lightblade's going to get the slipstream here off of Marty, which is going to help him enormously. Side by side, Rompu and Lightblade. What's going to happen into turn one? Lightblade's going to try and go around the outside. Rompu defending that inside line and right over the curve a little bit, but he's got that stop beautifully there, and no way around for Lightblade right now. This is giving Marty a little bit of breathing space and allowing him to get himself together again and try and drive away from these two. As we can see now, Lightblade's got a good run from Rompu coming in towards the second part of the Mercedes arena, and he's up the inside into fourth place there. Rompu not fighting that one too hard in the end. Cordeo's gap to Greenwood at the front, 3.3 seconds. Greenwood continuing to gap Marty, so really the front two in a league of their own, and it's pretty much a battle for the final podium spot. Marty, Rompu, Lightblade all in this battle right now. Lightblade obviously getting ahead of Rompu a few corners ago, and he can now set his sights on Marty sat in third. Maze is still running in sixth place, still holding Leon Seeley up a little bit, acting as that buffer between Leon and the leaders, as we've got Kenny dropping off at the back of these two a bit, 2.2 seconds off of Maze and Leon. RaKiMaJe still running in ninth place just behind Kenny. He's dropped off him a little bit coming through that sector though. Tom is now all over the back of Kenny and RaKiMaJe, still continuing to make gains after a very, very sketchy start to this race. He's got himself back in contention in this one, as Tom. He's been hard work, he's having to do it gradually, he's had to be patient, but he looks like he's more or less there with the main pack now. But Lightblade has already got 0.7 of a second back to Rompu, and he's continuing to reel in Marty Road Racing at this point. What's he got to offer here? Lightblade, Leon Seeley, Tom, these guys all coming back through the pack. It's going to be interesting once we get to the later stages of this race. We see Leon making a move to the inside here of Maze, pulling out to the slipstream here. He's going to have a look to the inside into the braking zone, but he's not going to be able to get it done there. Maze still covering that off. Kenny, RaKiMaJe and Tom also in hot pursuit here, as we see Tom is going to get around the outside of RaKiMaJe. I think RaKiMaJe went straight over the grass coming through the chicane, and Tom is around the outside up into ninth place. Routine stuff there from Tom, making that position, making some gains here in this race. Leon's still in that slipstream behind Maze. Is he going to be able to go for a move coming into the turn one? Surely at this point Leon's just got to throw caution to the wind and throw one up the inside, because he's losing time here to Maze. He's not going to get it done there though, that is for sure. Lightblade 0.7 of a second behind Marty at the moment. These two battling over that final podium spot. That Bentley's been all over the Lamborghini for a few laps now, but still hasn't been able to find a way through. Leon, oh look at that, he was pretty much on the back bumper there of Maze as they came through the Mercedes arena, and now he's going to try and look to get the cutback here around the outside of the final part of the arena there, and he's done it brilliantly there as Leon Seeley. Maze gave him the space on the outside, and Leon Seeley is up into sixth place and can now try and chase down the leaders and get himself involved in this battle for the podium spots. Really nicely done there from Leon Seeley, as we see Maze going a little bit wide there coming through that section of the track. Kenny, Tom and RaKiMaJe still battling over 8th place. Tom still trying to get through this pack if he can, and he can start trying to make some gains on the rest of the pack and bring himself into this race. JR saying light showing why he's one of the very best, 100%. JR is now on the back of Marty, and he's not far off from the leaders either, so he's still very much in pursuit of what could even be a race win here in this one. He's only 8 seconds off of the lead. Here is Lightblade, and it's a long race here for tier 1. It's 1 hour, it's a proper endurance, so there's still plenty of time for him to get that sorted out. But at the moment we got Tom running just ahead of, Kenny running just ahead of Tom. In fact, no, Tom's got ahead of Kenny. Tom's got ahead of Kenny up into 8th. He's got ahead of both RaKi and Kenny in the space of pretty much a lap or so, and now he can try and set his sights on the lead pack if he can. He's currently, how far is he behind Leon Seeley? He is, Tom's only about 4 seconds behind Leon, and in fact Mays is out of the race. Mays has left the session. I think he's disconnected. Mays is done, unfortunately. There, it's looked like he was driving a good race as well. He was running in 7th. He had a good battle with Leon Seeley, but he's obviously had to call it a day. Presumably the internet has topped out there for Mays Gamer, so unfortunately he's no longer in the session. Lightblade's got himself into 3rd ahead of Marty, and he's currently about 8 seconds off for the back of the leader Cordeo. He's only 5 seconds behind Greenwood. Greenwood, in fact, has actually reeled in Cordeo a little bit over the course of the last lap or so. The gap last time I looked was about 3.6, now down at 3.0. So definitely Greenwood doing some bits here in this stage of the race. Still early days at this one. It's still only 13 minutes into this 1 hour race. It feels like we've had almost a whole race here. There's been so much action going on in the first few laps. As we see Marty there, still running pretty close to the back of Lightblade. 1.7 back to Rompu, sat in 5th. Leon Seeley 3 seconds behind Rompu, sat in 6th at the moment there. Tom's still making progress here in this race and actually bringing the gap down to Leon a little bit over the last sector or so. Tom's pulling out the gap to Kenny and RaKi. deedeeTKU still running in that final position here in this race. Cordeo still doing the business out front. 3.3 is his gap to Greenwood right now, and Lightblade took about half a second out of Cordeo coming through that middle sector. The gap was 8.9 back to Lightblade between Cordeo and Lightblade, and it's now 8.4. So Lightblade, just picking out these little things on the timing board, is on a mission here in this race. If he continues with that pace, he could be very much a contender for the win here, but he's still a little way off of the leaders at the moment. Still got work to do, that is for sure. But just putting out another little thing there, is now 8.1 off the back of Cordeo. 3.3 is the gap between Cordeo and Greenwood. A further 4.8 to Lightblade. That's 8.1 seconds. That's 8/10 in the space of a lap. The Lightblade has reeled in on the race leader Cordeo, so look out for Lightblade. He is going to be a contender in this race. It's all about how long he spends behind Greenwood, and if he can keep up this pace that he's getting right now. But if he can, then he's going to be on for a win, very possibly. Cordeo probably is going to be oblivious to this at this point, because he's currently just doing what he has to do. He's got a clear track in front of him, nobody's really been around him, and he's been continuously keeping that gap to Greenwood. He probably has no idea about Lightblade. He's probably not even on his radar at this point, which makes it even more interesting, because we're watching this as it's unfolding, and we can see Lightblade continuing to make the gains. He's only 7.7 seconds behind Cordeo. He's gained a second on him on that last lap. Lightblade is on a charge here in this race. Obviously won the tier 2 race earlier on from the back of the field. Got a call up here for this one as a reserve, and he is really stepping up to the plate right now. Let's see if he can keep this up. Greenwood's gained a little bit of time on Cordeo coming through the first sector there, a tenth up on him, and Lightblade is under 7 seconds behind the race leader Cordeo. This is unbelievable stuff here from Lightblade at the moment. He's flying. Chris Pisuk in the comments saying good luck Team Run DJC boys. Currently Team Run DJC being represented by Lightblade here, Chris, who's currently really making gains on Greenwood and the race leader Cordeo. Marty's running in 4th, Rompu 5th, and we've got I think that that's that's all of them. They're doing a good job at the moment, up there or thereabouts in this race. Really has been a solid showing from Team Run DJC right now. Whilst we're here, I want to say a big thank you to everybody watching live on the YouTube stream at the moment. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already, guys, and subscribe to the channel. If we can get this video to 20 likes before we got off air, it would be absolutely amazing. It would mean the world to us. It really would, to have that 2 on the front of the number on this video in terms of the likes. If we can get that, guys, that would be absolutely astonishing. But right now, Leon Seeley running within 2 seconds of Rompu, continuing to reel that gap down. Marty and Rompu probably too busy watching each other, don't know that Leon Seeley is reeling them in. Tom's 4 seconds off of the back of Leon, so the gap between Leon and Tom's kind of gone up a little bit. Leon's responded to the pace of Tom and is starting to pull away a little bit now. And Leon is definitely bringing that gap down to Marty and Rompu at this point. Gap between Cordeo and Greenwood 3.1. Lightblade only 3.1 off of Greenwood. The gap between Cordeo and Lightblade now down at just over 6 seconds. This is incredible pace here from Lightblade, continuing to carve that gap down. Gap between Raki and Kenny currently 0.7 of a second, so Kenny's giving Raki a little bit of something to worry about at this point as well. Very interesting action going on right now as we are 17 minutes into this race. As Marty's still running just ahead of Rompu at the moment. 0.7 of a second separating these two at this point. As we see there, Marty going a little bit deep into the corner. Is Rompu going to be able to punish him for that one? I think he's going to get away with it. But Rompu's definitely going to be on hand. If Marty makes another mistake like that, then Rompu's will be, I'm sure, Johnny on the spot. Leon Seeley just 1.4 seconds off of this battle now. Still waiting in the wings. He's going to be there to pounce if these two trip over each other. Gap between Cordeo and Greenwood still coming down. Greenwood's making the gains on Cordeo, but Lightblade is also gaining massively on Greenwood, and Lightblade is only now just under 5 seconds off of the leader, Cordeo. I was hoping this would be like a story of the race, you know, Lightblade reeling them in, gradually picking off the times, you know, little tenths of a second here each lap, and eventually catching up, but it looks like he's going to be on the back of them before we even get to the halfway point at this rate. So Lightblade, if you can, just stop gaining so much, you know, if you can just sort of slow down your progress a little bit, make it a little bit more dramatic for it. I'm joking, obviously, but Marty's still running in 4th place right now. He's got a little bit of a gap back to, well, hardly any of a gap back to Rompu right now. 0.2 of a second. Leon's now joined this party in this battle for 4th place. Leon obviously started by the back of the field, but he's now very, very close to 4th place. You can sense it here with Marty and Rompu just in front of him. Tom's got the gap down to under 4 seconds to this pack, so he's not too far off of 4th place either. Here is Tom. Lightblade is your fastest man out on track right now though, and he is only 4 seconds behind Cordeo, the race leader. He's come from pretty much by the back of the field himself. It was Lightblade, Leon, Tom, all of those guys opted to start at the back, and they have just picked the rest of the guys off in this race, and they've got themselves into the top half of the order more or less. Tom's still sat in 7th, but he's not very far off at all at this point. Cordeo's got the lead of the race, as he has had since the early stages, but maybe, just maybe, he can see Lightblade appearing on his radar now, and starting to get a little bit of squeaky bum time. Also Greenwood is bringing the gap down to Cordeo. Cordeo was putting out the gap to Greenwood in the early stages, but now Greenwood's responded potentially down to Lightblade's pace. Now that he can see Lightblade looming large in his mirrors, it's kind of given him the hurry up a little bit, and he's thought, I've got to get on with this now and you know, get a move on. But down the start finish straight they come. Greenwood now with 3 seconds off of the back of Cordeo. Lightblade is within a second here of Greenwood as they're coming up towards turn 1, but he's not quite in range to go for a move there into turn 1. Marty's made a mistake. He's lost out Rompu and Leon Seeley up into 4th and 5th respectively. Marty's had a mare there coming through the final sector as Leon's looking to the outside here of Rompu coming into turn 1. He's going to be able to go around him. No, Rompu's going to cover that one off. He's going to try and get the cut back on him, but Rompu's wise to that and holds on to the position for now. But Marty road racing, losing 2 positions in the space of a corner there, and now Tom is on the back of this battle for 4th place. Tom has been reading in these guys for a number of laps, and now looks like he is very much involved. So Greenwood has got his mirrors full of Lightblade. Lightblade has been bringing himself into this race. He's been finding time after time here on Greenwood. He's been pretty much reeling him in for a number of laps, and he's now very much in striking distance of picking up this P2, and it's going to be advantageous to Cordeo if Greenwood is able to hold Lightblade off for a few laps, because the longer that Greenwood keeps Lightblade at bay, the more it's going to allow Cordeo to well, first off, he might be able to put out a gap, but second, it just delays Lightblade a little bit, stops him from gaining too much, and it will leave him less time to make those gains once he is ahead of Greenwood. If he is even able to get ahead of Greenwood, we don't know for sure whether or not he's going to be able to get ahead of Greenwood up into P2. Greenwood looks like he knows how to defend his position. He's obviously got his wits about him at this point, and he's holding Lightblade at bay for the time being. These guys have got 11 seconds back to Rompu, sat in 4th place right now. He's got 3 tenths back to Leon, who's got Marty just behind him. Tom is very much in fact, Tom's got ahead of Marty. Tom's gone ahead of Marty up into 6th. He's now can pull up onto the back of Rompu and Leon Seeley. But Rompu's managed to... In fact, no, Tom's ahead of all of them. Sorry about that, I do apologise. Leon's the one who's dropped out of that battle. I'm really sorry there. Timing screens do tend to play havoc with us here on this Assetto Corsa Competizione game on the PlayStation. But Leon's dropped out. I don't know what happened to him. Rompu's had a horror show, but Leon's 3 seconds off at the back of this battle. Tom has got ahead of Marty up into 4th, and Leon's dropped well out of that battle. Now 3 seconds behind them in 6th place. Lightblade still on the back of Greenwood, but still hasn't been able to get the move done there. Up into 2nd place, Greenwood's holding him off and holding him up, and Cordeo's now been able to just stretch his legs a little bit. 3.5 seconds he's got to Greenwood at this point. Absolutely brilliant action here on a Motive Racing channel tonight for the GT3 Championship here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. We are absolutely blessed to have these guys out on track. They're delivering an excellent show. As always, you can expect the Tier 1 drivers, some of the best on the PlayStation platform, to put on some of the best action. And Cordeo's got a splendid lead here at the front, 2.7 he's got over Greenwood. And Lightblade's had a mistake. Lightblade's dropped off the back of Greenwood. I didn't see what happened there, but he's clearly made a mistake coming through the first sector. He's now 3 seconds behind Greenwood, so he's had an off somewhere, and that's now got to he's just got to get himself together and regroup once again. That's going to have halted his progress ever so slightly, but he's still very much in contention here for this one. Don't count him out at this point. He's not going to have dropped out of this one at the moment. It's just a setback here, but he's now almost 6 seconds behind the race leader Cordeo, and Cordeo's probably looking at that and thinking, this is maybe a bit of a lifeline for me, because Lightblade was really closing the gap before. He was gaining hand over fist on the leaders before this, but now he's got work to do here. Tom running in 4th. He's 10 seconds behind Lightblade. He's only about 15 seconds off of the lead right now as Tom, so he's done amazingly. And in fact, could he be the fastest man out on track right now? I'm not sure. I think he might be the fastest driver out there at this point. He's definitely gaining on Lightblade now. Lightblade's made that mistake, and he's got 3 seconds back to Marty already. Marty's got 2 seconds back to Leon. I don't know what happened to Leon and Rompu, but they dropped out of that battle that they were having with Tom and Marty, and now Leon's got to get the work done and try and close back up onto the rear of Marty if he can. Looks like Rompu and Raki separated by half a second coming into turn 1. Raki's not close enough to go for the move there, coming in towards the first corner though, and Rompu's going to hold on for now. Rompu's race has kind of gone up in smoke a little bit after a decent start to it. It's just it's kind of all gone a little bit pear-shaped for him, to be honest with you. It's not been the race that he would have been hoping for after where he was at the start. He's down in 7th place right now, but to be fair, lots of drivers have jumped out, so it looks like the drivers are lower down than they are, but actually, I mean, hats off to everybody who's stuck with it, to be fair. Kenny was up there at the beginning. He's now down in 10th place behind deedeeTKU. Pit window will be opening in a few moments time. I think in 10 seconds it will be open, so drivers will be able to come in, but anyone who's come into the pits before now will not be able to count that as their mandatory pit stop, as the pit window was not open when they did it. And there we go, confirmation there. Pit window is open. Cordeo's got a gap of 4 seconds over Greenwood, and he's opening up now at the front. Cordeo's got the hammer down over these last couple of laps, and Greenwood doesn't seem to be able to go with him. Lightblade's now bringing that gap back into Greenwood, and now got with him very much within striking range. 1.1, just over a second. Cordeo's gained a bit on Greenwood there. 5 seconds is his gap to him. Greenwood must have made him a bit of a mistake there coming through that middle sector, because he's now got Lightblade very, very close behind him here as they are coming out of the last corner to complete lap 12. Cordeo in the pits, the race leader pulling the trigger very early. He'll come out in traffic potentially, so that could end up being quite a disastrous decision there. We'll have to see how that one pans out, but he is in the pits at the moment, so that is going to be an interesting dynamic there for Cordeo, as Greenwood continues to lead the race right now. He's got just under, well, he's taken the lead, sorry, he's inherited the race lead due to Cordeo's pit. But race leader Cordeo, net race leader, is in the pit, and Lightblade is still hassling the back of Greenwood right now. I've been joined in the commentary box by the Greek. Greek's jumped in. Greek couldn't be with us for the start, but he's with us now, mate. How you doing?
Doing good. Sorry I'm a little late on that.
No, it's alright, man. Better late than never. It's good to have some company in the box. It's been an exciting race so far, actually. Cordeo kind of got away at the start. We've had Lightblade making his way back through the pack, racing as a reserve tonight for the Tier 1s. Although Greenwood has inherited the lead due to Cordeo coming in. A couple of drivers disconnected, so we're down to 10 runners at the moment. Leon Seeley started at the back, didn't get a lap in quali. He's making his way back through. So yeah, it's been interesting. Don't know if you've been watching on the stream, but it's been an interesting race so far. Pit window's just opened, so Cordeo's come in, Marty and Leon also in the pits as well.
Yeah, I was looking at the stream a little bit. I was out picking up some stuff to celebrate 4th of July here in the States.
Oh yes, of course. So happy Independence Day.
Yes, thank you very much. So I was watching the stream just a little bit. It's been a good race so far.
Yeah, it has. As we see, Marty's picked up a stop-go penalty there, presumably for speeding in the pit lane, I would imagine. But he's come into the pits. He's picked up a 30-second stop-go, which he will have to serve before the end of this race. So that will compound any issues that he's already had here in this race. Greenwood's still holding off Lightblade, but Lightblade's going to get a nice run here coming out of the last corner. He's going to pull out of that slipstream. We are going to go side by side here down the start finish straight now. Lightblade is go the inside line, and I should have that one done here. Greenwood might try and get the cut back here coming into turn 1. It's easily done if you can get it right, if you can get early on the brakes, but Lightblade is up into the lead of the race. Greenwood's going to try and come back around the outside, but Lightblade's executed that one to perfection and now has the ascendancy here in this one. Bear in mind, Cordeo still needs to come into the pits as Killian Volkerts has managed to find his way into the session. Not quite sure how he's managed that, but Killian Volkerts is in the session, so let's hope and pray that this doesn't go horrifyingly wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. Hopefully it's fine.
Not sure how he got the code to get into it. I'm sure it'll be all right.
Yeah, we hope so. But Lightblade leading this race by 1.3 seconds at the moment ahead of Greenwood. They've got 7.5 seconds back to Tom, who's actually closing the gap. Tom, another one of the drivers who started at the back here, the Greek, and you won't know this, but he's actually been gaining quite a bit on these two now. He's only 7.5 seconds behind them. Over the course of half an hour, it's definitely not going to be beyond reach for him to bring himself into this race.
Some very impressive stuff right there. So showing some really good pace half hour into this race so far.
Yeah, considering that he started by the back, a few drivers didn't get lapped in. It was a bit of a strange qualifying session. I think a lot of the faster guys trying to give a chance to the guys who were down the back of the field, as we see Tom coming into the pits here at the end of lap 15. But yeah, that's Greenwood also in as well. Lightblade continuing on in the lead of the race. He's going to try and get the overcut if he can, trying to make the most of a bit of time by himself on the track to just get the laps in, and with a clear track in front of him, it might be a chance for him to bring himself into contention for the win, which he's been in for a while. To be fair, he had to overhaul Greenwood, but Cordeo technically the net race leader, as he was leading the race before he came in, so it's going to get exciting, that is for sure, in the final part of this race. Halfway through, we're into the final half an hour now, and this is anyone's race here. This could be Lightblade, Greenwood, Cordeo, Tom, honestly any one of those guys. And to be fair, if Leon Seeley hadn't had the tricky start to the race that he had, I reckon he could have been in this battle as well. He's only 15-16 seconds off of the back of the net race leader Cordeo, so he's done brilliantly here in this one. But this could be anyone's race here for this Tier 1 round 5 of the season here for Motive Racing's GT3s on ACC. This race is wide open at this point.
We see Rompu and RaKiMaJe just came into the pits as well to make their scheduled pit stops. They were having a little good, nice battle there for 4th and 5th. Yeah,
they are currently sat in the box at the moment. You see there, that's Rompu getting a little bit held there as with RaKiMaJe on his way. No, RaKiMaJe's still in the box as well. Rompu's off and away right now, as we also see a battle going on here. Cordeo is having a little bit of a ding dong here with, is that
it's another Ferrari.
That's Tom.
So
that's Tom. Oh my goodness, Tom has jumped Quideo in the pits. Quideo was leading this race before we came in. Tom was about 7 or 8 seconds behind Lightblade and Greenwood, so as Quideo had a bit of a mare there. As Quideo gets collected there by Kilian Volkers. What is he doing? What is Kilian Volkers doing there? He's just...
Tom gets it gathered up.
Comes straight out onto the track and is playing silly buggers there with some of these leaders. I don't know what he's trying to do there, what he's playing at, what games he's trying to put on here. What is he doing?
This could potentially be the battle for the lead right here. Tom and Quideo. But Quideo must have made up some great time on track or in the pits to get in front of Quideo. But currently, right now, so the little squaffle there with Kilian, but they all got it carried up. So Tom and Quideo battling it out at the moment. Quideo behind them by half a second, as Tom decides to switch off his headlights. Not sure what tactic he's playing at here. As our leader has come in for his scheduled pit stop, Lightblade, as he is coming out of the pits right now. So Lightblade.
Oh, Lightblade
not
drive
sure.
Through, speeding the pit lane.
Oh no, but that was creeping out through the pit lane. I actually see him on the pit limiter. He wasn't really speeding too fast. So
I know we don't want to see this on the stream, but I need to keep an eye on what this idiot's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's managed to get himself into this session. Is he a tier 1 driver?
No, I didn't see him on the list. So this is bad right now for Lightblade. Drive-through penalty, but he's leading the race. And I'm looking down the order too. Kenny and Marty Road Racing has a stop-go penalty, as Kenny goes ahead and gets that stop-go penalty out of the way.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he moved up there. Just having a look here.
So
he's not on the list. Has he got the tag?
No.
Has he got the driver tag? Someone must have given him the driver tag.
Yeah, someone has spun. Where? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Jump back up to the battle for the lead. Tom is putting a considerable amount of time between him and Quideo. Last time I checked, it was at half a second lead. Now it's a 2-second gap between them. Tom on a tremendous amount of pace.
Yeah, Tom is doing brilliantly. He's the big winner in this pit stop phase. We see Kilian there doing some stupidity there, coming through the chicane. I don't know how this dude has managed to get into the lobby, but he's clearly a mess. Doesn't have a clue how to drive or how to do anything, probably, to be fair. I mean,
it seems like he's on controller too, so it's not helping him his case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start questioning, I don't want to start probing too deep. The kid's obviously got some severe issues with driving, and maybe he shouldn't be on this game. Maybe he should be on Wreckfest or something else. You know, he shouldn't be playing this game. He's not really a sim racer, so to speak, by the looks of it. I imagine he's probably hasn't got the greatest of lives, seeing as he's decided to spend his Sunday afternoon trying to wreck a league race. Probably wants to get on YouTube. Probably a bit desperate for attention.
Street sniping. Evident on the bigger titles, but surprised to see it here on ACC.
This kid's just begging for attention. What an absolute mess. Kilian no mates.
So Tom on just great pace, extend that lead now to 3.5 seconds. The only battle really going on right now on track is between Lightblade and Rompu, the two biggest cars on track, the Bentley and the Mercedes, very big V8s.
I'm pretty sure. I know this for a fact. Killian is actually the only G. I know this for a fact, yeah, because if you look at the Zandvoort race, he raced in Tier 1. Killian raced in Tier 1 and came 4th and was actually had really good pace. He was pretty quick.
So he must be having issues with a steering wheel, or
no. It's the only
something.
G. It's the only G.
Oh,
it's the only G. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing this for, but as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the only G. This is what his life has become after motive racing. So yeah, congratulations, buddy. Good to see you're bringing yourself into great glory. And you know, to all of those who have signed up to the Sim Zone, you know, just be aware, this is your leader, this is your coordinator, this is your founder, whatever. This is the man who you're putting your faith in joining your leagues over at Sim Zone. This is him. This is him in all of his glory. So this is what he does in his spare time. This is how he reacts to things. And somebody like this, you can't really trust in life. You just can't really trust them. They can't be trusted. This is why we can't have nice things, fellas. Take a look, cast your eyes on this sad, pathetic lowlife of a human being. What an absolute waste of space. Useless, no good, nobody. Anyway, back to the battle for the lead. So Tom leads the race by 4.8 seconds ahead of Quideo. Quideo's got 8 seconds back to Greenwood, who's currently sat in that final podium spot. He's got 1.7 seconds back to Leon Seeley. Lightblade's retired from the race. I don't know what the only G's doing here, making this Killian account and jumping in and starting to wreck people's races for. I really don't know what goes through somebody's head, but I will definitely be making the people in his community, the SimZone, aware of what their leader's doing behind the scenes, because that's madness. And I know for a fact that it's the only G, and my evidence is that I know it's a fact. It's a fact. Everybody knows it. It's kind of obvious. All I can say is I feel desperately sorry for Lightblade, as his race has been ruined through no fault of his own. He's done nothing wrong. He was just driving around. He'd done a great comeback here in this race, and his race has just been completely ruined with 20 minutes left on the clock. And for what reason? For what reason would you jump into a server and ruin somebody's race when they've done nothing wrong? Why would you do that? You clearly have to have some severe issues with yourself as a person, psychologically, mentally, morally, to do something like that. you have to be pretty lost in the head. There has to be something severely wrong with you to do that. Disgraceful behaviour from somebody, and we all know who he is. Everybody knows it, and he's just trying to ruin another league's race for what? I just want to apologise to everybody watching the stream right now, and apologise to Lightbabe, and apologise to anybody who's had problems with this kid out on the track tonight. Absolutely embarrassing. Complete and utter total embarrassment. I'm sorry to anybody who came along hoping to see a good race, and ultimately he's just made a fool of himself. You know, to me, he's just made an idiot of himself. That's all he's done, is make an idiot of himself. Just shown everybody his true colours.
I feel a little bad for Lightblade because he was on a good, he was doing decently well.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to take a look through, see if there's any battles currently on track. I think the only battle we got going on is between Greenwood and I believe Leon Seeley at the moment, between battle for third, where Leon is only 1.5 seconds behind Greenwood at the moment. And it seems to have been running, they're running pretty consistent lap times to each other. As Leon Seeley took down that gap just a little bit, now it's down to 1.01 seconds. So he's definitely making up time on Greenwood.
Yeah, he really is. And Greenwood's going to have to be looking out here in his mirrors pretty shortly, because Leon's been on the charge here. Looked like he went a little bit wide there coming on the exit of the Schumacher S. And the gap's definitely within a second now. I think it's about 7-8 tenths between these two. They dropped off for the back of Tom and Quideo just a little bit. Tom's got a reasonable enough buffer back to Quideo. I don't think Quideo's going to be able to reel that one in the last 15 minutes of this race. Greenwood's still sat in third, and his gap to Leon Seeley, we're just going to find out now what exactly it's at. Yeah, 8 tenths of a second now, so Leon's in striking distance here.
Every lap he takes just a little bit out of it, and so with 15 minutes left in the race, Greenwood's going to have to do some really good defending here if he wants to hang on to that third place podium. I'm not sure what Marty Road Racing is up to. I know he had a stop-go penalty if he's trying to serve that right now at the moment. I've seen him in the pits for quite some time now. Tom driving from the back of the pack up to first with a really commanding lead now, just really showing some strong pace. You know, the gap from Tom to Quideo almost 8 seconds now since the scheduled pit stop about 20 minutes ago. A little less than that, maybe about 15 minutes ago. Checking out that battle for third, going back to it, Greenwood and Leon Seeley. As Leon Seeley has gone off track as he missed the breaking point. He had his the gap down to 4 seconds, but now all that effort he just put in to catch in Greenwood has been undone. As Greenwood must have made a mistake going to the chicane right there, because now Leon Seeley is right on the back of Greenwood in his draft. Will we see him try to make a move down into the turn 1?
He's going to have a little look, trying to distract him in the mirrors, but at the moment Greenwood's going to hold on to that one. Leon Seeley not quite in a range to be able to go for a lunge. Thought he was going to think about that one there for a moment. He's got still a little while left to go in this race to do it. He's dropping off the back of Quideo a bit. Tom's pulling away at the front, so this is really the summit of their ambitions right now. It's left a really bitter taste in the mouth, that has. G coming in and doing that. Seriously, I thought, I don't know why, he just keeps finding new lows. Genuinely, like, he keeps finding new lows. I didn't think he could stoop that low, and he goes and does it. I'm starting to think there is no low he won't go. As we're side by side coming into the hairpin, and Leon's up the inside of Greenwood there, up into the final podium spot.
Greenwood in the dirt.
Oh yeah, he has gone wide there, hasn't he? That's unfortunate. Yeah, he's lost out a little bit of time there, so Leon's comfortable into that final podium spot now.
I believe Greenwood tried to match him on braking into that corner, and just he was on the wider line in the marbles, and he just kind of sucked him up into the dirt. But he's recovering quite well, though.
He's still there, isn't he? Yeah, he's still not lying down.
Yes, he is. So Leon Devlin's got to be checking his mirrors as he dips it down in the dirt. These guys are using every bit of the track.
They really are, and it's they think this could go down to the wire. I don't think Greenwood's done. I think that he's definitely going to be fighting Leon all the way here for this third spot. These guys are the only real battle out on track right now. Tom leads this race. He's got a comfortable gap at the front ahead of Quideo, who's coming over the line now to complete lap 24. But this is really where it's at. Leon and Greenwood separated by 3/10 coming down the start-finish straight. I think Greenwood's a little bit too far back to send one coming into turn 1, but he's still going to be keeping Leon on his toes. That is for 100% sure.
I know, talking from experience, I know it's sometimes harder to beat a car in front defending, and you know, once you get past, it's you can get back into that rhythm, follow the driver that just passed you, and you can start really dropping your lap times, you know, and then that's what we got to worry about. Yeah, you might have completed the pass, but then the driver you just passed might wake up a little bit and start going on a charge himself. So it looks like that's what Greenwood is doing, really picking up his pace here, just a tad bit, just enough to keep up with Leon Seeley.
Yeah, he is. He's doing just enough at the moment. But Leon, I thought, had the pace over him, had a considerable advantage, but then quite often it's the case. You see this a lot of the time in this GT3 league. You see that a driver will be right up behind someone, and you think that they've got a severe advantage, and then as soon as they get ahead, you realise how evenly matched they are. And we're seeing that now. Greenwood's just still within 4/10 of him coming through the Schumacher S. So yeah, for sure this is going to go down to the wire. Just under 10 minutes left to go, or just over 10 minutes even. Tom's pulling out the gap to Quideo, still over 10 seconds between those two at the front, and it's 8 seconds back to Leon. So really 20 seconds covering the top 4, and this is the battle for the podium spot, which we've been watching for the last few laps, and we're going to continue to stay with for now. But Leon's managed to put a little bit of a gap here in that middle sector, 6/10, not massive, but it's a bit of a cushion. It's enough. In towards the final corner they come. See what Greenwood can get done here. Is he going to be close enough coming out to the start finish? Oh yes, he is. Look at this. Leon gets a slightly compromised run coming out of the final corner now, and Greenwood's going to look on the back of him here. They're going to be pretty much bumper to bumper here, and Leon's going to defend to the inside line. Greenwood may try and go around the outside, or is he going to cut back and go for the exit out of the first corner? Leon goes to pretty much bang on the apex there, and there's no way around there for Greenwood. Can't get the cut back, can't get around the outside, because he just completely peach of a defensive driving there from Leon Seeley coming through that section of the track, and he holds on there for that third place by the skin of his teeth. For how much longer is he going to be able to keep Greenwood behind him? Greenwood obviously was ahead of Leon for a few laps, and Leon made that move, got himself up into third. Now Leon it's his turn to play the defensive game here in this race. But 8 minutes left to go here in this Tier 1 GT3 league here at Motive Racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Flying laps here of this one. Tom has done a phenomenal job here in this race to come by the back of the grid to lead the race by over 10 seconds. Quideo led the early stages, but ultimately got overhauled by Tom eventually Tom's been the man to beat. He's had such great pace over the course of this one. Leon's been not too far from him in terms of pace, but he's only just managed to pip Greenwood, and now Greenwood's still keeping on the back of him in this battle for third. So Tom has been your standout performer, but Cordeo doing a great job. Leon and Greenwood are not done yet though, as they're coming into the final 8 minutes now, so we're probably going to have about 4 or 5 more laps here at the Nurburgring. So still not done, still not over, still plenty more action here in these final few laps.
Yeah, these guys, the battle for dirt right now he's doing a bang up job. These two, they're really pushing the limits, but both cars using every bit of the track, whatever advantage you're looking for. And Leon Seely, one of the best defenders here on Motive, you know, his defending skills are renowned, but Greenwood really showing good pace right now to not let him drive away off into the distance, and telling him, hey, I'm still here, you got to worry about me still, you haven't got the job done yet.
No, for sure, it's definitely not done and dusted. It's not over till the fat lady sings. But 6 tenths separated those two as they came over the line to complete lap 25. Tom's gap to Cordeo up to 11 seconds, so he's continuing to pull away at the front. He's got this one pretty much under control here, as Leon's still just ahead of Greenwood. Rompu spun out. Oh, Rompu's made a mistake there, massive mistake. He's lost out. I think deedeeTKU would have moved up into 5th ahead of him there. Rompu's, oh, has he? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's way ahead of him.
Yes, yeah. Now RaKiMaJe is who is coming on to the back of Rompu at the moment. Oh, it'd be Kenny. Yeah, it's making some time up.
Yeah,
he's a lap down still.
Yeah, he's lost out massively there.
As Leon now begins to start pulling a small gap away from Greenwood. And Greenwood, I believe, has started to use up his car. I'm not too sure if he has any more tires left to try to keep on with Leon, as he runs a little wide. I believe Marty Road Racing is actually still having some issues trying to serve that stop-go 30-second penalty. I've seen him make a lap around the track, come back in, and pit again. I'm not too sure what's happening there. Maybe it might be a problem with ACC and him, but just won't let him serve that stop-go penalty.
Yeah, maybe he's stopped in the box and then has thought, you know what, I don't want to do any more of this. Possibly he's maybe got a bit fed up, but he's not going anywhere fast. By the looks of it, that is for sure. Leon's pulled up at 1.3 here to Greenwood though. Looks like he might be safe to secure in that 3rd place.
No mistakes right now, as he can just run maybe another 3 clean more laps. He'll have 3rd place on lock.
Yeah, it looks like he might have it done secured, but Greenwood's still going to be there. If Leon makes a small mistake, if he makes any kind of a hint that he's going to slip up, then I'm sure that Greenwood will be on hand to seize that final podium spot. He needs to keep it clean, needs to keep it tidy, and not give Greenwood anything to go on here in these final couple of laps. Whilst we're here, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who has stuck with us on the stream and who's dropped a like on the video. If you haven't already, guys, please do drop a like, as it helps us out an enormous amount. If we can get this video to 20 likes, as I said earlier on in the stream, then it would mean the absolute world to us. So let's hit that like button. 2 more likes please, guys, and we can get this video to 20 likes throughout the duration before we go off air. So let's come on, guys, let's give it that last push, as we've got Leon Seely coming out of this last corner, pushing the car. But it's got Greenwood 1.4 seconds off of the back of him. Leon knows pulled out a bit of a gap over the course of this last lap or so, and is continuing to keep that buffer He's only 5 seconds behind Quideo is Leon Seeley as well, so I wonder if he might have the potential to close in on Quideo before we get to the end of this race. We might be having 3 more laps, including this one. It depends on when Tom crosses the line to start the last lap, but I reckon we could be in for 2.5 laps, including the one we're on. So that would mean that Leon would have a bit more time to close up onto Quideo potentially. 5.6 separating Quideo and Leon Seeley, but time's running out for Leon, so it's he's got to get a move on.
Waiting for the timing charts to update to see how far Leon, as he's taken every lap, he's taking a little bit out of Quideo's lead on second place. It was just 5 seconds, now it's down to 4.8 seconds.
Yeah, he's definitely bringing it down, isn't he? He's coming down at a rate of knots. 8 tenths in one sector now, so Quideo's probably going to be looking over his shoulder pretty shortly, looking in his mirrors thinking, this could get interesting. Tom's coming out of the last corner. Let's keep an eye actually here, because a lap around this track's just under 2 minutes. So if Tom crosses the line with 2 minutes on the clock, I would imagine we're going to be in for another lap after the one we're on. So here we go. Tom crosses the line. I reckon we've got 2 more laps here, and the more laps, the better for Leon. Leon wants more laps in this race if he's going to pick up this P2 here. He's already pulled out 2 seconds to Greenwood. He took a while to shake him off, but now he's got out of that range. He's definitely going to feel a bit more comfortable, and that's allowing him to put in the times a little bit more consistently. Quideo is 15 seconds behind the race leader Tom. He's got 4 seconds back to this man, who is continuing to reel him in the last part of this race. Is it going to be enough, or is it going to be too little too late for Leon Seeley to pick up the second place finish here? deedeeTKU still running around. Greenwood obviously in 4th just behind Leon, having Leon made that move a couple of laps ago. deedeeTKU running in 5th, Rompu 6th, RaKiMaJe still going around in 7th place right now, Kenny 8th, Marty 9th. Lightblade obviously got taken out by the only G on his second account, somehow managing to gain entry to the lobby. Obviously the founder and owner of thesimzone.com joining in and deciding to mess with our league for goodness knows what reason.
Huge apologies to Lightblade there, it really did ruin his night.
Yeah, 100%. I do feel
Lightblade, if you're listening, we do apologise.
Lightblade's the one we feel sorry for, because at the end of the day he's getting caught up in crossfire. It's nothing to do with him, and you know, he's an innocent civilian there. Why is he getting dragged into it? You know, innocent people shouldn't be dragged into stuff. It's not how the world works. Shouldn't be how the world works, but some people just don't have brains, do they? They don't think.
Oh, has Quideo gone wide in that one turn?
Quideo, yeah, I think he did. Yeah, it's going to allow Leon to continue to close that gap down. 3.9 seconds currently between them. Oh, is Leon goes a little bit wide onto the gravel there, coming down the hill in the valley section. That might have cost him that opportunity there to take second place. He's now falling back into the clutches of Greenwood. Greenwood now within a second of Leon Seeley as well, so maybe that's opened up a new can of worms. We were looking at Quideo possibly losing that P2 to Leon. Now Leon might be losing P3 to Greenwood. Tom on the last lap of the race here, he has crossed the line to start another lap, so this is going to allow Greenwood to possibly give Leon a little bit of a headache here on this final lap. Quideo looks pretty good for that second place, but Leon and Greenwood are going to fight this one out to the flag here by the looks of it. Incredible development there. Leon Seeley's making that little mistake, and it's now possibly giving Greenwood another bite at the cherry.
Leon just pushing it too hard as Greenwood goes really wide. He was late on the brakes there.
Yeah, he was all over the place there, potentially giving Leon that buffer that he needed. Tom's coming through the final, well, he's coming through the middle sector now, so he's got about a minute and a half left until he'll be taking the checkered flag to take this race win, having come from the back of the grid. A superb performance from him. Quideo led the early stages of the race, looked like he had a bit of a buffer. Lightblade was reeling him in. It was Lightblade who we thought was going to be Quideo's chief challenger. Tom pulled out an absolute masterstroke in the pits, presumably didn't put fuel in the car or tyres or whatever. I think he didn't put tyres on, he just stayed on the same set in the nighttime conditions. Obviously tyre wear is not too much of a problem, but whatever he did, he played an absolute blinder, emerged with the lead of the race. Lightblade got taken out by the idiot who joined the session midway through, who somehow got the password, and ultimately is out of the race. Quadeo and Leon Seeley completing that podium. Greenwood unfortunately doesn't look like he's going to be able to fight Leon for this podium spot. Leon's done a great job there to get past him a few laps ago, and he's going to hold on for that one. Couldn't get on terms with Quadeo though in the final part of this race, but Tom coming in towards the final few corners now. It's been a superb drive from this man from the back. He was down in about 7th place at the midway point in this race. He has just kept on going, kept believing. He's pulled out the gap in the final part of this race. Tom into the final corner in the number 3 blue Ferrari is going to take the checkered flag at the Nurburgring. It's going to be round 5 of the season for the tier 1s and the GT3s on ACC Motive. Goes to Tom. What a performance from him. He's completely blown away the field in this one. Quadeo coming out in the last corner is going to take a 2nd place here. He's coming up towards the line. It's not going to be the top spot that he wanted, but it's certainly going to be some great points here in his championship. Leon Seeley is going to come over to take a 3rd place, not too far behind Quadeo in the end. Holds off Greenwood there. Greenwood comes over in 4th place. deedeeTKU is going to come in towards the final few corners now. It's going to be a 5th place, and he gets the rewards for sticking with it here, because he was down in 10th. He was in last place for a long time in this race, but he's kept going, and he's picked off Rompu, RaKiMaJe and Kenny due to them having problems in the last part of the race.
Put on a great performance. Everybody up and down the field put on a great race. Tom, absolutely just outstanding performance, coming from last place to 1st, and then to put a 13-second lead on 2nd. Absolutely amazing performance.
Yeah.
Leon Seeley and Greenwood putting on a great battle there at the end.
Yeah, mesmerising stuff there from Tom. I don't know where he was able to pull that pace on at the end, but he just completely went off once he had that lead. He was not looking back, but he takes the win there for this for the GT3 Tier 1 tonight. Quadeo comes in home in 2nd place, only a couple of seconds back to Leon in the end. Leon also coming by the back of the field, did a really good job in this one. Lightblade, what could have been had he not been unfortunately brutalised midway through the race in that one, but he will definitely be back, I'm sure, next time, and we'll have to make sure that certain people don't have the password to the server for the next race. But Greek, thanks for joining me, man. Sorry that it had to be in such a this race had to be marred by such controversial circumstances, but enjoyed commentating with you in the last part of that race, man. Great stuff from you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me join in again. I'm sorry I had to be a little late there, but always a pleasure to come in and commentate. It's always great racing here when we don't have certain people coming in and ruining the races for people. Absolutely, yeah, and you know, it's the minority, it's the few, it's the tiny minority of people who ruin it for everybody. Unfortunately, this is why we can't have nice things, ladies and gentlemen. But from all of us at Motive Racing, we thank you for joining us, we thank you for watching the stream. Drop a like if you haven't already, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one tomorrow night for the Porsche Shoot.